Hey everyone, Mr. MC here. This is a lap guide for the new lap time challenge taking place at Suzuka Circuit with the McLaren Ultimate VGT. This event is over on sport mode, so make sure you have menu booker number 9 completed to access this online time trial event. And this event ends at the end of April 17, 2024, so this is a 2-week event. We are using a stock McLaren VGT on the racing soft tires, and your goal is to go within the 3% time range of the world record time when the event ends, as that is when your lap time gets counted. And do be aware that this car has DRS, so make sure you have it binded to a button on your controller or wheel. For example, for me, I have it binded to the circle button. Here are my in-game tags in case if you want to see my replay. I'll also leave a link to the replay in the description down below. But now let's quickly talk about the hybrid and the DRS. So this car does have a hybrid system, which means that you'll want to keep your steering input relatively straight. That way the hybrid system does get deployed and you'll gain faster acceleration. So you'll see right here, this is where the hybrid system does get deployed. So again, you want to keep your steering input relatively straight. That way you'll be able to benefit from it. It'll be key through some corners. So coming out of Degner 2, coming out of the hairpin, where you want to keep your steering wheel, your steering input as straight as possible to deploy that hybrid. The other thing is that this car does have a DRS system, but you need to keep your steering input pretty much dead on straight. Otherwise, you won't be able to use it. So with DRS, it reduces the amount of drag your car is getting, but at least to me, it doesn't really make that much of a difference almost everywhere. Pretty much the only parts where it makes a small difference is on the main straight and on the back straight going towards 130R. Everywhere else, yeah, you're not really going to be using that DRS system. And yeah, it doesn't help that you need to keep your steering input dead on straight to be able to benefit from it. But now let's go on over to the lap guide. Alright, so as you're getting ready to start your new lap, bring yourself towards the left to get a faster start to your new lap and make your steering input straight to deploy the DRS. Your first braking point is before the 50 meter board, so around the 75 meter mark, brake hard for a short moment and turn in at the 50 meter board. That's where you're going to start to ease off the brakes and turn in, so doing a bit of trail braking. Just being really careful through here so you don't step out. And right around here, this is where I'm actually going to go to 4th gear. That way I don't have to shift as I'm going towards the S's. So right here, going to go up to 4th gear. Carefully get back on the throttle so the car doesn't step out. Bring yourself towards the right. And just as you're about to start to enter the S's, start to turn in and use a little bit of your braking power as you want to flow through the S's. So you're kind of just trying to flow through here like water, using a little bit of braking for the first 2 turns. This 3rd turn, ease off of the throttle, just stick towards the left, a little bit of throttle control. For this right turn, start to ease on the brakes just before the curb on the right starts, and you want to try to stay as close as you can to the curbs on the right. So around 50% braking power for a short moment, a little bit of throttle control, stay towards the right, because just after the new sector starts, that is where you're going to turn in. So just after the curb on the left ends, turn in, a little bit of throttle control, go up to 4th gear if you haven't done so yet, and you want to take advantage of the whole width of the track. So you're kind of trusting that downforce that this car has. Next braking point, 75 meter mark, so before the 50 meter board. Brake as much as you can for a short moment and turn in at the 50 meter board. Gonna send it through Degner 1, but then brake early, brake before the curb on the left ends for Degner 2. You're gonna use that end of the curb on the left as your turning point. Go down to 2nd gear for more rotation, but exit on 3rd gear and straighten the car as soon as possible to make use of the hybrid and DRS systems. Then brake just after the curb on the right starts, and you're going to use all your braking power and go down to 1st gear. So you see in a moment, go down to 1st gear, turning in just as the sign and barrier on the right start. And you're kind of going to park it on this turn, kind of just like trying to park it on the apex, because you want to get the car straightened up as soon as possible and then accelerate. Exit on third gear, and you want to again try to get on the throttle as soon as you can, straighten up the car as soon as you can so you can make use of the hybrid system, and if you do it just right, you can gain quite a bit of time coming out of the hairpin. Next braking point, the 100 meter board. So you're braking pretty early for this turn. You're braking early for spoon, full braking power for a short while, turn in at the 50 meter board, going on to third gear, a little bit of trail braking, a little bit of throttle control, brake well before the curb on the right ends, and you want to try to bring yourself towards the curbs on the left, and make sure you exit on fourth gear. I do go down to second gear for more rotation, but exit on fourth gear. Nice and careful getting back on the throttle so the car doesn't step out. Gonna straighten with the steering to deploy the DRS, and this is where things get really tricky. If you want to play it really safe, lift off our throttle at the 100 meter board. If you want to play it risky, do it at the 75 meter board and then turn in at the 50 meter board. You're doing a quick lift off our throttle, just hoping that the car doesn't spin out because that turns pretty much RNG corner. But anyways, brake before the 150 meter board, so full braking power going all the way down to first gear. Turn in just after the 50 meter board, and just as you're going in between the chicane, go up to third gear, and you want to be really careful with your throttle input so you don't spin out. As I'm going through the last corner, I do go up to fourth gear, and you can just be really careful with your throttle input, and if you have a good lap time coming in, bring yourself all the way to the right and finish your lap. We'll go through this again, but this time I will not stop the video. Alright, so getting ready to start a new lap, go towards the left, build a bit more speed, go as straight as possible to use the DRS, brake at around the 75 meter mark as you are going really fast on the main straight. Going down to second gear for more rotation, but exit on fourth gear to try to keep the car nice and stable as you carefully get back on the throttle. Using a little bit of braking and throttle inputs as you go through the S as you're trying to flow through here like water. A little bit of braking input for the right turn right here. A little bit of throttle control. You're just trying to make sure that the car does rotate a bit and then get back on the throttle. Now bring yourself towards the left, braking at around the 75 meter mark, and then being really careful through deadeners 1 and 2. Straighten up the car as soon as you can to deploy the hybrid system as you straighten up your steering input. Brake when the curb on the right starts for the hairpin. Straighten up the car again for the exit of the hairpin. Try to deploy the hybrid system as soon as possible. Then bring yourself towards the right for spoon corner. You're using the 100 meter board as your next braking point, so doing a bit of trail braking as you go through the spoon corners. Go up to fourth gear as you exit the spoon corner. Straighten up your steering as soon as you can to deploy a bit of the DRS system. Bring yourself towards the right. If you want to play it safe, lift off the 100 meter board. If you want to play it risky, 75 meter board and just send it and hope for the best. Brake before the 150 meter board. Going down to first gear for more rotation, but exit on third gear. Go up to fourth gear as you go through the final corner. Bring yourself towards the right to finish your lap. And that is it for this lap guide, getting a 137.8. We'll see how this lap time compares as the weeks go on, but that is all for this lap time challenge video. I am going through allergies, so if I sound a little weird, now you know why. But thanks for watching this video. This is Mr. MCA, and I'll see you in the next video.